Yes, sir. We are live. We are live. Hold up. I'm gonna actually title it first. Then I'm gonna get to talking because I want to be locked in from start to finish. Um, how was your day though? Let's talk about your day first. How was your day?
It was straight, man. Now officially a week away from being out of this job. Out of this job, I should say, not out of this job. Out of this job. Um, all love to the people that I work with, but got to get out of there. Yeah, yeah, man. I can't complain at all. It's been a really good week. Hooped a lot this week. Was able to
Right.
get
Good run.
some footage for content. Not necessarily like playing against nobody, but because I ain't trying to embarrass nobody or nothing. But um, just getting up enough footage that I could post for a week or two if need be. My boy B Dub in the chat. Shout out my boy
Yes,
Bryce.
sir.
Yes, sir. Friday stream, brother. WWE Unreal unpacking. Look how I just came with that out of nowhere.
Like right there, right then and now. Okay. That boy
Shit,
a
how was your week,
lyricist.
brother?
My week has been good, bro. I feel like I've been nonstop, like moving since I got back, and I'm ready to just stop moving and chill.
I
Um,
should.
but that day will come at some point. I don't know, but for now, y'all, we have to, like he said, unpack WWE Unreal. Uh, as you guys know, WWE dropped a Netflix show going behind the scenes of what they do. You know what I'm saying? Like what goes on in Gorilla, how superstars prepare for matches, how matches are executed, and just overall how they do their job to appease us as fans. Um, Me and Reek watched it. We didn't watch it as fast as everybody else did. I swear to God, the show came out within 10 minutes, and I seen something that happened in episode 5. I
Oh,
don't know how y'all did that. I don't know how y'all did that fast. I still don't know. But
I don't either. I think people
regardless,
just skipped around for the most
I
clickable things they can find,
I really think so too. That's the thing. And I
which
was
is
about to
lame
say,
as hell.
we watched it, we dissected it in our own terms. Reek has his own list. I started with a list and then I stopped and I was like, you know what? I just got questions and I'll just break down the moments that I felt. Um, there was 5 episodes. Just want to give
I
y'all
feel
more
like
of
it
a
should have been
breakdown.
more.
Yeah, I feel like it could have been more. A lot of stuff was fast tracked, but there was five
Hmm.
episodes. And for fans, I feel like for us, it was important to see like the creative process. I definitely enjoy
Hmm.
watching how they made decisions. For non-fans, I think for you it was okay, this is real in some aspect. What they
Hmm.
do is actually real. They have to put stuff in motion. Y'all heard them say it in
Hmm.
the show if you didn't watch. For example, without spoiling, there was a moment CM Punk was in the elimination chamber. And he said, "This is the most dumbest match we can do. You can't even prepare for it." And I was like, "Okay, that's cool. All right, dope." Now I know when they in there, they know ball. They just doing what they got to do. So with that being said, that's the intro. I done gave you the rundown of the show. Um, and for the first question, I'm gonna leave it to Reek. I'm gonna leave the floor to Reek. Um, what's one thing in the show that genuinely surprised you? Like, what surprised you? You know, I know that's hard. You see a lot of things
Hmm.
coming. You're a very aware guy, but what surprised you throughout this Netflix show?
It may sound weird or like some people may disagree, but like I know they're match producers, but the way they're like, all right, like I knew they talked to the refs, and I knew the refs were like checking on them and telling them like small things here and there. Bro, they tell them a lot. Like I've always been like in my head, like as a kid, even now, I'm like, how do they remember all this? Like, how do they remember every spot? And then you can see a lot of them, like Charlotte, Rhea, um, there was someone else that you could see like just going over everything they were gonna do backstage by themselves, like in their head. And I'm like, okay, like that makes more sense of like you don't have to remember every single move or every single spot because in my head it's like, all right, once you get out there, you on your own, you got to remember everything. And like they said, it's live. You get one take. You don't get to go, all right, we messed up, let's run it back. All right, we messed up, let's run it back. You get one take, it's live, and if you mess up, it's a live audience. That's gonna that's gonna make a lot of jokes. They're gonna say you botched or you fucked up, blah, 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 whatever the case may be. But like, I think that was like the most, I won't say surprising, but that was like the most impressive thing to me, at least, is like how they were able to, like, no matter who it was, whether it was Jason Jordan or Michael Hayes or um, Abyss, like they were all able to like make changes on the fly, but also keep things at a steady pace. Like, all right, this is what's happening next. All right, make sure that they don't, just that stuff is underrated because people don't realize it. But that stuff is so important that if they weren't there, there's probably a lot more mistakes to have. In my opinion, at least. I could be wrong, but I feel like there's a lot more mistakes that can happen if you don't have those people that are like helping them put everything together, and then while it's going, making sure that, all right, don't forget this part, or you got this part. All right, here comes this. And it's even letting the ref know, like, okay, there might be something that like somebody could get injured on, or there's gonna be a bump that like is gonna require you to, hold somebody's leg, hold the rope, or something like that. Just small things here and there that people don't really realize, that I didn't realize, that seeing it made me realize, like, damn, like if they didn't have these producers, things could look a lot different.
Things would look a lot different. I'm glad you shared that because that was one of the things where I was like, dang, like just same thing but kind of different. It's just the craft. Like I one thing that generally surprised me that stood out was the people that cared about their craft showed a lot during this whole process for me. And like um it was amazing to see that. But the thing that surprised me the most was the camaraderie like the women had. Like,
Mm.
bro, it was nothing. They talked, they congratulated each other,
Hmm.
they were happy for each other. Like, you know what I'm saying? It was just like they were happy with the direction they were going. Like
Yeah.
we it was nice to see, bro. And like even Triple H said, like, okay, bro, sometimes the girls they handle it better than the guys. And I was like, I can
Yeah.
see that, bro. Based off one episode,
Right.
I was like, bro, their
Yeah.
locker room just seems legit. So I was
100%.
happy to see that because tell y'all the truth, sisterhood is probably everything in that world. You know what I'm saying? Because the odds are stacked against them at all times. It's women of
100%.
color. It's women. Not only are women, y'all sometimes women of color, women from all different places. So the fact that y'all not hating and y'all banding together, like one thing my girl always told me was, it's hard to make friends with other girls. It just is. And I'm just glad to see in a work environment where it's competitive and there has to be somebody that has to go over stuff like that. That there's no real harshness. Although Tiffany and Charlotte had their thing, it wasn't even as big of a deal
Right.
as we
Because
thought it
that's
was, or
that's something
anybody
that
thought
was
it was.
big to me. It was like, all right, like at the end of it, she thanked Charlotte multiple times. Charlotte says she's gonna be the future. And also, never mind, I don't want to jump too far ahead. I don't want to jump too far ahead.
Yeah, don't jump too far ahead because we got character development stuff down the line. If you
Yeah.
were going that way, um, moving on to my next question. What moment made you stop and go, "This is deeper than wrestling. These are real people. This is human stuff." Like, what made you stop and feel that moment?
CM Punk crying after the Mania main event. Like I knew it meant like a ton to him, but like seeing that was like, damn, like he really, like that's what he had like wanted to do his entire life. Like that's what he wanted to do as soon as he got to WWE. Like all he cared about was the main event. And a lot of things, like once he left, a lot of things were said. He said a lot of things. People said a lot of things about him. And there's always going to be like a bitter taste in even like his fans' mouths just because he left and he wasn't necessarily like, you know, there for the fans in any way. Like he was, once he left, he was gone. Um, but I think there was a little bit of like a misunderstanding. Like I think when he first left, people were like on his side, but as time went on, it was like, all right, like we're on your side, but like it's at a point to where like we feel attacked, or like we feel like it's our fault. You know what I mean? Like the people that like help lift you up, help build you up, are wanting you to come back, wanting you to come back, and you're like just like, nah, I'm not doing that. That's not me anymore. Da da da. whatever the case may be. But just like seeing the emotion, seeing how he felt like going into it. Also, him and Triple H, like them talking about the conversations that they had leading up. Like they said they had like 2 or 3 conversations before that, and it didn't go well. And then the last time that they had conversations, it was like, okay, maybe there's a little bit of change there, and then they were able to make it happen at Survivor Series. So like to see like before the match, Triple H go to CM Punk and be like, hey, like you were made for this. Like you were always the main eventer. And Punk was like, "That's all I wanted to hear. That's all. Like coming from you, that's all I needed to see. Like all I needed to hear." And then once they came back, he was like, "You waited this long. You had to wait so long, and look what you just did. Like you put on an all timer, and like you could just see like the emotion. Like him, he was like, "Are you happy?" He asked Triple H, "Are you happy?" Like multiple times, and Triple H was like, "Hell yeah! Like I'm ecstatic." And you could just see that like CM Punk, like as much as he seems like a guy that doesn't care about other people, he does care about the approval of others. And especially if it's a guy like Triple H who he butted heads with for 15 years up until that point, to where it's like, okay, like I think once he got that main event, he finally had closure of what happened in 2014, in my opinion, at least. I think
I feel
that's
like
what my biggest takeaway was.
another thing with him too is like the conception of him not caring about other people. Like I feel like
Hmm.
that was always a crazy knock on him. I feel like
Hmm.
he always maybe cared about other people. It's just like he stood on his own morals above
For
anybody
sure.
else. So it makes you
For
look,
sure.
but it's like okay,
Which ain't nothing wrong with that.
ain't nothing wrong with that. And at the same time, it's like, do you always handle it the best way? No. Should you been over there fighting with Jungle Boy and over there doing all that? No. Regardless if they press you or not, you went to that press conference, you spilled all the beans. So it's like,
Hmm.
cool. But that was definitely a dope moment. Shout out to CM Punk. I'm happy he got that moment. Because it was a long time coming. And
Yeah.
just to piggyback off you, Triple H, like that's your generation, bro. That's the precedent y'all set. Y'all see young guys come up and y'all was like, no, you not that. You not as good as you think you
Hmm.
are. You not him, you not that. So all of that weight getting to come off Punk's shoulders was probably crazy, bro. Crazy feeling because he probably thought that he would never be sitting there looking at Triple H and having that type of conversation. So that's
Nah,
a dope
facts.
answer. I like that answer. The moment that made me stop and go, which we already knew this already, but it was me watching Bianca make her own gear again, bro. Like making her own gear and really getting into the meaning of it, like behind it. And Montez saying like, well, she feel like if it's on an action figure, like she made that gear. That's her. Like it
No.
just made me feel like proud of her in a moment because it's like she's proud of it. Like I'm proud that she's proud that she's doing something that's meaningful that keep her going. Because if you got something that keep you going in this shit, it's gonna keep you going for a while. So it made me feel like it was a deeper moment, and especially whenever she wrestled out the boot and like they was laughing about it, joking about
Yeah.
it. But it's like, yeah, but that's cool though. Like that's your shit,
Hmm.
and you did it, bro. You killed it. She killed that performance, and she a warrior, bro.
Yeah.
She impressed me so much, bro. She's a workhorse, and I love that
Rhea
aspect.
too. Rhea too.
Rhea
Like
too, Rhea too.
we knew about like some of her struggles like mentally like before matches and stuff, but like seeing it was like damn. And it was like not even just like right before the match. It was hours before the match where she was just like struggling, like couldn't think straight, couldn't think about anything that was going on in the match. And I want to say this is where I'm gonna go like to the human part of it. Is like the fact that she did it. It happened at Raw Netflix debut. It happened at WrestleMania 40, but it didn't happen at 41. And I think there's a big difference. And I don't think that her and Liv aren't close, and I don't think that her and Becky or her and Charlotte aren't close either. But I think there was a level of pressure that she felt in all 3 of those matches that she didn't feel with Bianca and Io because of how close they are outside of the ring. Like the chemistry and the camaraderie that they have as a trio was like, oh, like this is gonna be easy. Like if we go out there and we're bad, like it'll still end up being a good match because of how good we are. Like that's how much comfort she had with those two, and vice versa. Like Bianca got hurt and didn't care because of the people that she was in the ring with and what they were able to do. Io came back in the gorilla, and everybody was jumping up and down with her and things like that. And then we all saw the picture or the video of Bianca's mom hugging Rhea, and then Rhea and Bianca hugging after. So it's like I think that's another thing is where like people are always like, oh, Rhea this, Rhea that, but it's like they say, like these are real people at the end of the day, and it's the same thing with Charlotte. Like you may not like the character of Charlotte, I may not like the character of Charlotte, but the person, I'm not like a oh I hate Ashley or I don't think she da 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 like whatever the case may be. But there's just like the small things that we see that are like okay, like I can see why they are like this on TV, but with Rhea, like she literally says, like as soon as the music is, she's a completely different person. But before that, and you could see it, like before that, you could see like how much she was struggling. But once the music hit, completely different person. So I would
Absolutely.
say that was another one too.
Yeah, that was definitely something. Yeah, I commend all the women in the show. They stood out so much. All of the women impressed me. Like, you know what I'm saying? Um even the men impressed me. Like an example. This isn't like this is deeper than wrestling, but this is just in general impression. Like when they were all huddled up at Elimination Chamber talking about the finish and everything, and just seeing
Yep.
Punk run down a whole match finish, like off the
Yeah.
top of his head, and seeing it be
Yeah.
like, oh yeah, that's fire, that's fire. To immediately
Yeah.
Jason Jordan being like, lead the cage down, let's run it. It
Yep.
just shows like there's also levels to this, bro. Because there was a couple
Yeah.
people in there that was just standing there watching. That was probably like, okay, so there's levels to it, and
I noticed that too, bro. I
yeah,
noticed that too.
yeah. I
I was
was
like,
like,
damn,
man, you
Priest ain't
watching?
say shit, and I know Logan Paul ain't gonna say nothing because he's not
Yeah,
really like a wrestler, but like Damian Priest didn't really say nothing, Drew didn't really say nothing. Like he was agreeing, but those two
yeah,
didn't really say nothing. Cena was giving input, Seth was giving input, so like you can see the three that are like geniuses about it, if that makes sense.
yeah, for sure. That's what I'm saying. It's levels. Like I noticed. That's just a small peep game, and maybe that's unfair
Hmm.
to Priest and Drew. Maybe it is because we didn't get too much into it. But it's like I feel like
Right.
if you're in that space, in that
Hmm.
magnitude, in that moment, I feel like maybe it would have been cool for you to maybe mention something. Maybe mention something on one
Right.
of your spots. How can you get involved in that?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Hmm.
Um, moving on. We gotta go. We gotta talk about the kayfabe. We gotta talk about it. Does it help? You know what I'm saying? Does it help or hurt the magic of WWE? Does you think it adds to the WWE experience, or do you think it hurts showing us so much behind their secrets?
I think it adds because if it hurts, then it was you already felt that way. You know what I mean? Like if it hurts your following of the WWE, like you should just never watch it at that point. You know what I mean? Like at the end of the day, these are real humans playing characters on TV. It's the same as an actor playing a character in a movie or a TV show. Once they clock out, they're the real actual selves again. So it's just weird to me that when it's wrestling, people are like, "Oh no, you gotta keep the character. You gotta stay. You gotta make it seem like you hate each other in real life." Like we know that's not true. We don't need to pretend. And if you do, then just keep pretending by yourself. Like there's no reason to like be mad while you're watching the show. Like, oh man, I can't believe they like. How do you think everything happens? Like I know people are probably like, damn, Kevin Owens and Cody did all that, and then they went right back and they were talking, make sure each other like that's literally just how it has to work because it won't work any other way. Like I don't understand how people are like mad about it. Like it's not 1980 anymore. Like it's 2025. You're gonna figure it out eventually anyway. Like we're gonna see it. They already started releasing like documentaries of like WWE 24s before on the WWE network. So we already seen it before. This is just more in depth. And it's not just a lead up to one show or a lead up to a WrestleMania. It's a whole like it's supposed to be a span of the year. But I'm like, people are like, oh, I think now I can't now when I watch it, I'm gonna be looking for this. That's a good thing. Like I would be like, oh, who was the match producer of this match? Which I see sometimes on like PLEs, and I'm like, okay, that makes sense. But now I'll be like, okay, like they like maybe they have some staples that they do, or like there's some things that they do that is like their signature. You know what I mean? But I don't think it's a bad thing that they did it. Like at the end of the day, if you believe in kayfabe that much, like just don't watch it at that point. Like that's really it.
And the funny part about it is, I still believe it's. I think it's a newer version of kayfabe. I think it's
Right.
it's a new version, and I think it's on brand with what WWE is trying to do. They say live forever, wrestle forever.
Hmm.
How are you supposed to attach yourself to a character that you don't really know on a surface level? So like us seeing that Rhea goes through anxiety struggles, that's
Hmm.
relatable, bro.
Yeah.
People are gonna ride for Rhea Ripley, bro, just for the fact that they know that behind them curtains, like she's nervous.
She's
So
just like everybody else.
she like everybody else. You show her love. Bianca, okay, cool. We talked about her making her gear. That's an independent black woman, bro. You get behind that. If you don't like that, you don't like that. You get behind that, you get behind that. Me, I'm a fan. You know what I'm saying? Chelsea Green, she said it herself. Somebody gotta lose as long as it gets me booked. You gotta admire somebody going out there and trying to be seen. Whether you feel like you losing, I'm one of those. I don't like losing. It's just me.
Right.
But it's like,
Yeah.
I mean, you trying to make it special for the fans. You talking, okay, if
Hmm.
I gotta get pizza dumped on me, I'll do it. So you're trying to make it
Right.
special. You know what I'm saying? So it's new kayfabe, bro. It makes you love people more. You know what I'm saying? It's not
Yeah.
about the character, bro. We're past characters. Like characters are great, characters are
Hmm.
good, but we trying to learn about you. You know what I'm saying? A little bit, and
Facts.
that's just what I feel like. Um, okay. The question is though, after this show, and this is for fans that maybe didn't like the way their favorite character was presented. Like maybe I don't really know. I mean, I ain't gonna lie. Ah, The Rock. I ain't gonna lie. After he has his own creative team, is crazy. I was like, bro, that's
Yeah.
crazy. But
Yeah.
that's I gotta wait on that. But
Hmm.
that ties into this. After this show, can fans still believe in the characters the same way? You know what I'm saying? Do you believe that they can still believe in the character that they love the same way after the show?
I do. Because take Jay for example.
Mhm.
Jay was like we always talk about where the story's supposed to go, where do they see Jay? They literally showed us exactly how they felt about Jay. Jay wasn't supposed to be the original guy. Somebody was like, "Hey, maybe Jay's the guy. Like, listen to the crowd.
And I like that
Let's
dude
get
though.
into that."
Not to throw you off, but
Yeah,
that
yeah,
dude, he had a
yeah,
couple
yeah.
heaters.
Yeah. He really did.
I don't know who
He
he
really
is,
did.
but he has some.
He really did. I think it was. I don't know if I wrote it down or not. I don't think I wrote it down.
Because
But
he proposed the Chelsea Green John just coming out to
yes,
the he was
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
All right, buddy.
He, which I don't know how I felt about that. Like that probably would have pissed me off in real time.
Right, yeah,
Like
of
the
course.
last two people, and then number 30, Chelsea Green. Oh, she just wins. Like that'd be crazy. But
That would be
it's
nice.
off the wall. It's outside the box that you need something like that in the writers' room. Um, but yeah, I would say like just because like we seen how they felt about Jay, and then even when he started to stumble, they were like, all right, like you don't get this together, we're gonna have to figure out something else to do. And obviously he was able to make it. He was able to make it. Sorry, make a change, and that's why I feel like you can still believe in the characters because they are putting so much work into those characters that it's like you have to respect it. Cody's putting so much work into his. Everybody's putting work into to Cena and Brock. And I will say, I was confused at what Triple H said about Roman's character, where he was like, I don't know what it looks like without Heyman. It's like,
But that had me. You wanna know why that had me chopped? Because it just goes back to the promo Roman was talking about. Without Paul Heyman, there is no Tribal Chief. He said that. So like,
mm-hmm,
bruh, what you mean you don't know what's next? Scrap that character, bruh. That Tribal Chief Joan is done. It's time to find something new. Hollywood Chief, I don't care what it is. Find something new. That's all I'm saying. Like, but
yeah,
at the
I
same
felt
time,
that.
it's like, bro, this dude. Hey, it also kind of goes with my theory. What I said, Triple H cooked my man's. He don't know what to do with my
I knew you were
man's.
gonna say that. I knew you were gonna
It
say that.
it does though. He for real. How do you not know what to do with that man, bruh?
I couldn't.
How?
Yeah,
All them stories that was created 4 years, and you don't know what's next without after Paul Heyman. Yeah, I
Yeah,
let
that
Buddy
was crazy.
over there that suggested Jay and Chelsea Green cook.
No, that was crazy.
That's my new line, bro. Anytime Triple H messes up, let Buddy on the left cook because he's nice.
That was crazy. Yeah. But yeah, I still think you believe in the characters. You feel like
Hell
you
yeah,
should feel like those characters are still something that you can fully invest in. Like I feel like if there were like we would have seen people that were like, oh, like they don't really believe in their character or they're just doing it just so they can do it. But all of them, everybody that they showed believed in what they were doing. Even Chelsea Green, even though I disagree with some of the stuff she was saying, you can't fault her for just honestly just being tired of being released, tired of being let go. Like she's like, whatever I got to do to get on TV, whatever I got to do to stay on their good sides, I'll do it. Which some people want to live their life that way, and I can't fault them for that. It's not my life. But even her character is like, yeah, she's putting a lot of work into that character. It's been a character that she's worked on for years and years. So like, you have to respect it, whether or not you feel like, or whether or not you like it, or whether or not you feel like it still feels authentic because you didn't see the behind the scenes. I still think there should be a ton of respect for what they're doing, and you should still be invested into the characters.
absolutely. Yeah, I feel the same way. That's a great analysis. W Reek on that, y'all. Uh, if you don't believe in the character after that, then that's tough. I just hope everybody learns something from these people, bro. That's all. Like, I just hope everybody learn something from these people. Um, because at the end of the day, they just want to put on the best show possible for us, and I respect that a lot. Um, moving on. Reek for you. This is one person. Just choose one person. One person. Which WWE star was the emotional core for you throughout the show? What what character story did you hold on to? What did you How did you feel?
Um, Surprisingly, maybe Charlotte, because they didn't really follow that many. But seeing like the way she felt like going into the surgery, how she felt like she wasn't sure how athletic she was still going to be, and all these other things. Like people don't really talk about athletes once they go through an injury, like oh man, sending prayers, hope it's speedy recovery. But you never think about the mental aspect of getting injured and coming back from that injury. And a lot of times we've been so used to nowadays seeing people come back sooner from injuries that we're like, all right, like they'll be back within they'll be back, especially in wrestling. Like, all right, they'll be back at boom. Like as soon as Liv got hurt, they're like, all right, boom, she just going to Royal Rumble. Like, damn, y'all in the right room? Like, what's up? Like, what y'all know that I don't know? But like Charlotte gets hurt and they're like, all right, boom, she'll be back at this, and then she's not back, and they're like, all right, what's wrong with Charlotte? Like, what's going on? And truth be told, like, it doesn't matter. Like, if she wasn't ready, she wasn't ready, and I just feel like that's something that we don't really see. Like, we don't see the actual like comeback from the injury just because they're not gonna put all that on TV, but they'll show like, all right, somebody's coming back from an injury, da da da, and they'll get like the return pop. But you don't really know what they go through mentally and physically to get back to that point. Like they did a good job of showing like Triple H when he came back from his injury, like what he was able to do. But Cena came back, they showed what he did, but they don't always show what people are actually going through when they get these injuries. Like even Rhea, where she was talking about how she got hurt and she was apologizing to Triple H and was like, "Man, I threw myself into the wall a little bit too hard. Now I'm injured, and now the story, is messed up, and things are like all these different things happen, and people are like, all right, boom, all right, she'll be back at this, or I don't know. It's just the way that people like when injuries happen. Like there's the initial like, dang, hope she's all right, or hope he's all right, and then boom, all right, but they'll be back by this, or same thing they did with Ilya. They're like, all right, so he'll miss WrestleMania, but he'll be back by this time. Da, 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 da. So it's like people just have to like realize there's a human when these injuries happen. Like, yes, it's they're playing a character, but the character is not the one getting the surgery. The human is. So that's something that like that Charlotte's probably like the person that like I emotionally attached myself to throughout this because they showed her. I won't say they showed her the most, but they really only highlighted maybe 6 or 7 people. So
Hmm.
what? Rhea, Jay, Charlotte, Cody, Punk, Chelsea, Bianca, and then Cena. So what? 8. But outside of that, you didn't really see that many other people and what they do on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, Charlotte was definitely a focal point of the show. Yeah, she's lovable. She seems like a. I mean, like I said, this is TV. You know what I'm saying? So this is all at the forefront of what I just saw. Seems like a lovable person, bro. It seems like she cared, and bro, it definitely hurt me seeing her hurt, saying that she has been in the past 10 WrestleManias and she's missing 40, like the biggest one, and it
Mm-hmm.
messed her up, bro. It that was that was crazy to watch that in real time. And you're right, bro. That's the mental aspect of injury is just crazy. Another person I feel like I just also with Jay, bro. Like you said, just watching him bank on himself and the initial conversation with him and Triple H saying he ready to put a rocket on him. He's like, bro, yeah, like yeah. I mean, a lot of people will have a lot of questions in that moment of, okay, what do I need to do? What's it? He was just like, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, okay, all right, and he followed suit. Even when he came back to the back, he's like, look, bro, I gassed out. He was honest. You know what I'm saying? And a
Yeah.
lot of people don't be honest. A lot of people lie to get to the top. He kept it authentic. He kept it himself, and it was
That's fair.
cool seeing that moment pay off. Another emotional focal point for me is just, I guess, the writers' room in general. Like, I don't know, man. I guess I like the way Triple H actually lets people get their thoughts off. I guess, like in the creators'
Mm-hmm.
room. Like he really was the last person to kind of speak on things. It just wasn't like what he said was law. He was actually kind of just open and just letting people do their
Yeah.
thing. And that's what you want in a boss. I like how I like how he communicated with the talent, like reassuring them. You
I
know what
do
I'm
too.
saying? As my boy Kyle likes to say, encourage, not discourage. So it was it was nice to see that. Is he always right? No. Um, is everything he put out a hit? No. But it seems like a very toxic free workplace at the moment. So
Mm-hmm.
I I like that. I like that. I think that's the most emotional part for me is seeing that the people that I grew up watching or people that I actively watch now, the characters that I love now are being treated well behind the scenes. Because
Yeah.
as soon as I figure out people getting treated badly behind the scenes, I'm like, all right, bro, that's whack, that's stupid.
Yeah.
So my dog Mello being mistreated, we want hashtag we want Mello. Um,
Mm-hmm.
that's still gonna be going on worldwide. I don't know what's going on with that, but I need him to get right. Um, moving on again. Now let's jump ship, let's cross over. Um, Reek, this isn't about this company, and I hate to be one of these guys, but would you like for AEW to adapt their own Unreal with HBO Max?
100%.
I do too.
100%. Because there's a lot less that we know about AEW. Like some of the stuff we knew about WWE already. Like we knew there's a writers' room. We know how the producer. Like we know there's producers and things like that. We just didn't know like the inner workings of everything. How many conversations happen. How many things are switched. How many people throw out different ideas and things like that. With AEW, we really don't know. Like we know, like Daniel Bryan or Brian Danielson has input. Christopher Daniels has input. The Young Bucks and Kenny used to have some input. I don't really know how it is now. Um, I think Moxley has input too. Um, I would just like to see like how Tony Khan navigates it versus how Triple H does. And I'm not to doing like a Tony Khan does it like this, and I don't know why he do like really just to see the difference because I wrote down Triple H is at his best is a genius and he's a true student of the game. And it's not to say that Tony Khan isn't, but Triple H literally grew up in the business, like loved the business, and then was in it young and is still in it to this day. And this has been in every different position you could be in. He's been a singles guy trying to get over. He's been a guy that got released. He's been um, the second guy in a stable. He's been the top guy. He's been the top heel, the top face. Like he's been in every situation you can be in wrestling. So his thought process looks different than Tony Khan's because Tony Khan's is more coming from a fan's perspective, which I think is still very interesting. And I would love to see how he goes about that versus having other wrestlers be in the room. Like WWE has not like Michael Hayes was a wrestler, but outside of that, it's mostly guys that didn't wrestle. Tony Khan's room looks more like a bunch of people that wrestle or like are still currently wrestling. So I would like to see the difference between those two rooms, and I would like to see how the backstage morale is, how they work together and things like that, because that's something that we don't really see with AEW people. Like they're not on the road as much, so we don't see a ton of like footage or clips or anything like that from like backstage, or like we know the people that are close, but it's like if they're not close, like are Bobby Lashley and his crew over here, and then a certain crew over here, and another crew over here. Like, how does it look backstage? Because in WWE, it sometimes feels like it's that way, and then you see stuff, and it's like, oh, it's completely opposite. So
Right.
that's what I would want to see from AEW. Like, there's just like the peel back the curtain in today's age. I think is just so important, in my opinion.
Right, I think it is as well. And AEW, like, I would love a show with them as well because I've already kind of ventured. Like, I've watched the Swerve podcast when he had Osprey on, he
Mm-hmm.
had Kenny on. Like, you know what I'm saying? So just to try to see or hear a little something for what they be having going on, and I think it'll be definitely dope. And I would love to see who their locker room leader is. And like, if stuff gets out of hand, who's the guy? I mean, because it was at a point, it looked like Samoa Joe. Because when that CM Punk stuff was going on, Samoa Joe was in front and center, like, hey, y'all ain't on that.
Yeah,
We got stuff to handle. So I would love
right.
to see who the emerging locker room leader is. I would like to see, like, how they go about things. And, they have the platform to do it now. Like I said, HBO Max is huge. Um, I just seen they
Yeah,
released all of their past pay per views on there from 2024 to
for 2019.
2019. So that's amazing. I'm about to go back and look at some probably.
Yeah,
Um, it's just they gotta catch up a little bit in terms of pulling back the curtain as well because you
yeah.
have a lot of marketable people on your roster.
They did do a show, but that was in like that was low key like right after COVID or a little bit during COVID,
Mhm.
and it was kind of more centered towards Cody, and then there was like some women drama, so it was kind of like Cody and Total Divas
Right.
mixed together. So we didn't really get to see as much. So I would like to see it be more centered towards the same way that WWE and Real was.
Hell yeah. All right, look, Reek, we coming up on our time, so um, I'm gonna have some. I just want to tell y'all. I just want to tell the crowd. We want to hear from you. We want to hear your thoughts from the show. WWE Unreal. What did you think? Who was your favorite superstar presented in the show? What was your favorite match that they broke down on the show? And y'all let us know on TikTok because your favorite answer that we get, we're gonna feature it on next episode. You know what I'm saying? Which is, I would say our next full episode. We can come back because I mean, technically
Mm.
our next episode is tomorrow, so it's like that ain't a quick turnaround for y'all. So I'm gonna get y'all next week. Y'all let us know. And we got some bonus stuff to talk about real quick. I got some bonus questions that I wrote down. Hold up, hold up, hold up. Y'all know I couldn't go episode without my butt. I mean, come on. All right, Reek. I mean, you kind of answered this already, but actually, no. Let's go with this one first. In your opinion, Reek, and on TikTok, in our TikTok comment section, name one superstar who needs a deep dive documentary right now. Just one.
Io Sky. I feel
Okay.
like we don't know that much about her outside of the ring, and I feel like that could even like we've seen it with Rhea, we've seen it with Bianca, but we haven't seen it with her. So I feel like it opens the door and it lets people see how she is outside of the ring, how she is in her everyday life. Like we don't really get to see that. I feel like she's pretty closed off, which is okay. Like if she's closed off, then obviously you would pick somebody else. But I feel like if they threw the option out there to her and she said, yeah, I feel like it would be really interesting.
Okay. He would like a deep dive documentary on Io Sky. I'm gonna keep it on the women's side as well. I would like a Netflix style deep dive doc on Liv Morgan. She obviously is about to go do.
That's a
She's
great
about to go.
question.
She about to go do a
I'm gonna
movie.
answer.
Yeah, she about to go do a movie. She's. I mean, even even something that impressed me about Liv, and she was in the show very minimal. Is bro, she before the elimination chamber match, she's walking out. She's talking to everybody. All right, y'all ladies, have a good
Yeah,
match. Be safe. Make sure we're good. Make sure we're talking. She was getting everybody, what I'm saying? I would love to see a deep dive
yeah,
documentary with Liv Morgan. She just seems like a ball of energy at all times. And
yeah.
just a
I
very
love
lovely
Liv,
person.
man.
Just absolutely. Next question. Was there any moments that we talked about the emotional factor, but was there any moments that made you emotional as a fan, or was there any, or was there, if it nothing made you emotional, was there anything that was eye raising, like, whoa, I ain't going for that, or anything like that?
Um, so something that I was looking forward to possibly seeing or like seeing if there was anything there and there ended up not being was the Rock and Cena thing. Like they kind of just threw that together on a phone call, which I thought was really cool that like it all came together on a phone call. But then when you could see Triple H and Rock talking, they really never talked about whether The Rock and Cena had anything really going on. Like they're like, yeah, you're gonna make it seem like that, but then after that there were no conversations, or at least they didn't talk about the conversations. And I feel like there was a little bit left out there of like, all right, was there supposed to be something? Like they never mentioned if The Rock was supposed to be at WrestleMania, which we all know that The Rock was originally supposed to be there. Like obviously they probably weren't allowed to because The Rock said no. But like I just feel like there was something missing there that would have helped the fans out figure out what happened at WrestleMania 41 or at least main event of night 2. And you could see like they knew that that ending wasn't very good and they tried to like oh, you got to change stuff up sometimes. Like I don't know. I just felt like the way the night 1 ended, the way Rhea, Bianca, and Io went, it was like, okay, like that was a huge letdown, and y'all know it, and y'all, I don't say they played in our face, but they made it seem like it wasn't, and that was weird to me. Cena tried to make it seem like it wasn't. Cody, I feel like Cody knew. That's why he kept asking, like, "Are you sure? Like y'all liked it? Like it went well? Like I don't know. It just felt like like I feel like he knew like things didn't go the way that it could have or should have." And there was also no conversation ever of Seth, Heyman, and The Rock or Cena, which was like a huge topic of conversation from Saturday night to Sunday. So that was another thing that I was looking at, like, okay, like maybe this was all just put together by people that weren't in the know, and then the rumors got sent out and people started believing. But that was something that I was
Yeah.
like all right, I was kind of looking forward to seeing if there was something there.
Okay. Yeah, let's do that pivot, because it's like, okay, instead of emotional, definitely let's go with a I'm not feeling it type of thing, because me too. The conversation between Triple H and The Rock kind of had my eyebrow raising,
Mm-hmm.
because it felt, God, and y'all might kill me on TikTok probably. It felt very yes manish, bro, because Triple H, The Rock was talking to Triple H, sitting there telling him, like, asking him what he thought. Rock gave out his whole plan of what he wanted to happen. I mean, he didn't offer nothing back, bro. He was just like, yeah, okay, yeah, everything's good, yeah, great. Yeah, my nigga, like, bro, he has a creative team and you have a creative team. And then
Yeah.
he was just like, yeah, let's get everybody together and figure it out. No, bro, tell him we got this road. We just need
Mm-hmm.
you to come out here and do this. That's it.
Yeah.
And on top of that, it's not even that. It's just the fact of when they were breaking down, like how they were coming about the match, and then they were like, it was like, we called The Rock, and then they was like, okay, The Rock's creative team got us in motion. I'm like, bro, how are y'all gonna build a story off of his creative team? How,
That's the first problem.
bro? I was
The
like,
fact that he
how?
is his own creative team. The
Yes, that
second
is
problem
it,
is the fact that you have to have conversations with them. And some of the stuff they were saying, I was like, why would that have been? Like, I didn't hate it, but they said that Kevin Owens is supposed to be Rock's champion, or like was an option to be the Rock's champion, which like, okay,
bro.
but
But
like,
at the same time, they was low key trying to play KO in a sense because, like, bro, he even said
yes,
he was like, well, Kevin Owens being champ ain't what is not the end goal. So it's like,
mm-hmm,
I'm like,
yeah.
bro,
Like,
y'all
oh, we
had
don't want to
him.
change the champion that close to WrestleMania. I'm like, you just did it with Rhea and Io though, so
And it was,
I don't really, I don't really, I don't really get that part.
I didn't understand.
So
I didn't understand. Like, I don't know. They did try to play in our face a little bit with that because it was like, bro, they said The Rock got us in motion. He went out there and said he wanted Cody Soul. It sounded like to me that
mm-hmm,
was just like, bro, like even whenever they said it, they was looking like,
mm-hmm,
all right, well,
yeah,
now we gotta make up Cody, like The Rock having a champion, and it's like, I don't know, you kind of handicapped yourself on the low,
yeah,
like
100%. That's exactly what they did. They
so
handicapped themselves 100%. I will
it's
say there was two things from that episode that were like, one was like, oh my god, that was awesome. Two, one was like, all right, that's telling me more of what I've been saying over the past couple of years. So the first one is Michael Hayes mentioned that heels are supposed to lose for the story. Like he was like, yeah, heels are supposed to lose. They're never supposed to win the end. So I'm like, okay, so every time y'all have a story, this is why the heels always lose. And then they were, I don't remember what exactly they were talking about, but they were having a conversation. They were like, I think it was like Cena gets jumped. It was Netflix debut. They were like, Cena gets jumped, and then Cody comes and
yeah,
helps him.
Cody
Like
saying
Cody had
today,
threw that out, and they're like, who we gonna send out there? Judgment Day, and they go get beat up again. Like I was like, thank you. Like somebody said, like, bro, who else are we gonna send out there other than Judgment Day? And nobody wants to see Judgment Day. You know, whatever. The thing that was like, this was eye opening in a good way to me was the fact that they were able to keep it a secret. And then he was able to keep it a secret so long that they still didn't know what was happening up until Cena kicked him.
yeah,
Like Triple H is literally
laying
puppet
it down.
mastering every single thing. Like, all right, go to this. All right, they're gonna come in. They're gonna do this. All right, go to Cena. All right, pop out the Rock. All right, fan out. And I was like, damn.
That shit was
I
crazy
was like, yo,
because he
that
said,
shit was
bro, the
crazy.
crazy part about it is he said, Rock's face, Cena face. As soon as y'all pin out, y'all gonna know what's going on. I was like,
Yep.
oh, I said, all
Yeah.
right, he
That
cooking,
shit was crazy.
he
I
cooking.
was
But
like, wow.
at the same time, bro, only the elite can do that.
hundred
Like
percent. That's
only
but that's what made me say that. That's what made me write down that he's a genius because I was like, bro, who? I don't think, and I could be wrong with this. I don't think Vince would have been able to do something like that.
right.
Like
I mean,
he's
look, I
so
mean,
like hands
hold
on.
on.
He
Let's.
might have done too much.
I'm just gonna keep it a state. I don't want to cut you off, but I'm just gonna before I lose this thought.
Hmm.
He wouldn't have. One of the biggest things to happen in Vince's whole tenure was Cody's return because that was breaking open a whole
Hmm.
forbidden door. And bro,
Yeah,
that got spoiled. That wasn't even tight lipped.
hundred
Let's think
percent,
about it again.
100%,
The Hardys
one hundred
coming
percent.
back, breaking. That was
Yep,
breaking. Bro, we knew
yep.
about that. That got
We
spoiled.
knew the night because the night before they faced the Young Bucks in a ladder match, and we knew in that match that they were going to be on WrestleMania the next day. I'm like, bro,
You see what I'm
like.
saying? So it's like,
But I
so
even mean like to the commentary team and stuff like that. Like he would have been feeding what Michael Cole should say and things like
yeah,
that.
absolutely.
They were all able to like have like their own genuine reactions. Like Michael Cole even said, "Yeah, we had no idea. I never." He said, "Never in a million years that I think y'all would turn John Cena heel in this last farewell year."
Yeah.
And I was like,
So that's
"Hey,
cool. He get to
like
enjoy it as a fan.
exactly." As somebody that loves Cody and loves Cena too. Like you got to think about it in that mindset too. It's like Cody, like he's seen Cody since he's like 14, 15 years old, maybe even younger than that. And then he's been with Cena since Cena came in on SmackDown. Michael Cole was the lead announcer. So it's like, bro, they've literally like he's literally grown up. Like I don't want to say grown up because he was like, an adult by the time he got there, but
But you
like
grow.
he's
He became a
seen
man. He
their
became a man
entire
there.
evolution. He's seen their
Yeah.
entire evolution, and then he sees that, and it's like, whoa! Like he had like a genuine reaction. Even Wade Barrett, like Wade Barrett is close with Cody, and I don't want to say there's animosity, but there's probably like a healthy like towards John Cena. So like seeing that, he's probably like, whoa. So like it's like, all right, boom, this is my time to get whatever I want to say out to where it still feels like storyline. You know what I mean?
Right. It
So
was definitely
I
dope.
just feel like it was put together so well because no
Hey,
one knew.
look. And speaking
I
of,
will say we should have been on that motherfucker though.
definitely should have been on there. And I also want to add to one more thing. Cody Rhodes, sir, I admire you as a quarterback. I really do. Like you were great in this doc, bro. Like you went with everything. And Brad, the thing that made me like admire him in a sense was, bro, after you got absolutely smacked by Travis Scott, bro, you called that man and was like, bro, you straight? Are you good?
Right.
I know it can be rough out there, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Me personally, I'm not calling that man. Don't even talk to me, bro. You come on, bro. You was doing too much. But I gotta shout out the quarterback, bro. The company is in good hands with you, my brother.
Yeah.
So I definitely like that. Is there anything else I got on here? Okay. Did this show change how you see Triple H? Obviously, you said he's a
Mm-hmm.
genius.
Mm-hmm.
Did it change how you see Triple H and Vince and the entire WWE machine as a whole?
Yes. It changed how I've seen Triple H. I mean, I've always been high on Triple H. Like obviously there's been some things where it's like, all right, like I don't understand that. But I feel like there's always an end game for the most part. There's almost always an end game that he has and it ends up making sense in the end. Sometimes it doesn't, but that's, he's human. It makes sense. But seeing this, like, I knew that morale was high since he came in, but you can see why. You can
Right.
see the actual morale being high. Like, when Vince was running stuff and you seen documentaries, like, you could see the tension. You could see the pressure that people were putting on themselves. And you could see the way that people were like it's not like Vince didn't go and talk to people because he did. Like Vince would go and say congratulations and he would be happy and things like that. But Triple H made a way to like he made it his mission to go talk to people. And even having like Stephanie right there and Stephanie being able to go talk to people like her and Punk like hugging and high fiving after certain moments and things like that. Like I don't think that's happening with Mr. Man being there. And as far as the machine, it still feels the same to me. Like it just feels like a more well-oiled machine than I believed it was. Not that I thought it was like, you know, topsy turvy or anything like that, but it's just like, okay, like they really run like a tight ship. Like everything has to work together for everything to go well on TV. Whether it's Raw, SmackDown, NXT, or PLE, like everything has to come together well. Whether it's ring crew, commentators, wrestlers, producers, Triple H, Bruce Prichard, like whoever, like referees, like everyone has to play their part. And when it does, great things happen. So like how often do great things not happen versus how often great things happen would be my thing. It's like
Ratio is
it's
pretty good.
the latter versus the vice versa.
Ratio is pretty nice at that point. Yeah, man, absolutely. I view everything as good. Everything is positive. I love it. One thing I wish that we would have saw was NXT. I mean, NXT, they're a part of the WrestleMania weekend as well. I would have loved to see how Shawn Michaels
Yeah,
operates NXT, or
100%.
the direction that Triple H gives Shawn Michaels to.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I feel like that's something that could have been missed. I feel like this would have been a perfect time to introduce your up and coming talent at the same time, so people kind of got a general idea of who they are as people, so we can start rooting
Yeah,
for the younger talent already. You know what I'm saying? So hopefully, if they do a season
agreed.
two, I hope they incorporate
They
NXT.
said they said part two coming soon. I don't know how soon, but they did say they said part two coming maybe next year. They said
Most likely.
So I'm curious to see if how like this was what technically it was January. It was like Raw's Netflix to WrestleMania. So the next would probably be from like Backlash to whenever, you know.
I
Like
don't
they'll
think
probably
Twitter.
do it by like a 4 or 5 month interval each time they continue to do it.
Well, good then, because we're gonna have some. Well, if they doing it this year, it's gonna be a lot because we done had some returns. We done had some. We got
Hmm
some returns scheduled. Like I mean,
hmm
like we said, Ilya slated to be back at some point. Liv slated to be back at some point. Like so, we should have
We
some
also get to
shots.
see how they navigate Cena's heel turn. Like
Yeah,
that's really what I want to see is like
yeah,
how do they think it's going?
yeah.
Because if
Because
if you're letting us into the writers' room, there's gonna be people that be like, yeah, this shit kind of whack, or like I don't really like how this is going. Like we gotta pivot here, we gotta do this. Like I don't
I'm
know.
sure they
And the
have
way
done
that they've been trying to surprise people so often, I feel like the Jey Uso thing is now off the table because it's no longer a surprise.
that. Right.
Because I said it last week, and now I'm seeing it everywhere, and I'm like, well, it's no longer a surprise now, so it probably ain't gonna happen.
You never know. They could be. They could surprise us by still surprising us. You never know. I
Yeah,
don't know. Hey
yeah.
y'all. But listen, that was our deep dive breakdown on Unreal. Short, easy peasy. Um, y'all will see us on the talk. SummerSlam coming up, 2 night event. It's gonna be lit, man. It's gonna be lit. Yeah, man. I don't know. I'm just hoping for a good show. We seen the behind the
For
scenes.
sure.
Now we're gonna see a big PLE. What more can you ask for wrestling week?
Shout out TJ though. Shout out TJ Wilson. I will say that.
Okay.
Like, and Jason Jordan. Jason Jordan with the EO, Rhea and Bianca. Like, he was on his P's
He's
and
on
Q's.
this big one. He's on this big one.
TJ was funny because he thoroughly enjoyed Tiffany and Charlotte. Like, I enjoyed it when we were watching it live. People were like, "Oh no, that match was terrible. Like they were too stiff." I thought it was good. He was like, "Oh, I love it. Like, yeah, yeah." And then I love that they kept asking about Tiffany's tooth, and everybody's like, "Oh no, it's just blood. It's just blood." Like that jump was definitely chipped, and it was clear as day. And he was like, "It's not your teeth, right?" And she's like, "Nah, nah, nah."
Yeah, that
He's like,
had
"All
me
right,
weak.
cool."
Yeah, that had me weak. She said everybody got fake teeth here. Yeah, we know. The things be glistening at all the time.
Somebody, I don't even. There was somebody behind her, and I was like, literally behind you, has fake teeth, but I don't remember who it was. But I was dying laughing. But yeah, I just want to give TJ and Jason Jordan shout outs real quick because Jason Jordan was hooking with that triple threat.
Absolutely, man. Hopefully everybody's cooking tomorrow, man. SummerSlam night 1 coming your way. Restless Wrestling. Make sure y'all follow on TikTok. Make sure y'all get at us at MMG on YouTube. And we'll see y'all tomorrow, man. Let me hit y'all with my death beat one time. All right, y'all. We'll see y'all. Preach.